So, Steve, how exactly should we be weighing economic interests and public health interests here? The president released his plan this week for reopening the country. He mainly leaves it to governors, which is the appropriate response because this is still a federalist country and localities do vary widely in terms of how they are going to treat this thing.
All this goes to show when you apply real brain power, this thing can be done quickly. But what really annoys me is the way the federal government, and this is Congress especially, but also the Federal Reserve, has been laggard in getting real aid to small businesses. We know that first fund just ran out. Congress, Nancy Pelosi, when not eating her $20 ice cream, is blocking getting another $250 billion. And the Federal Reserve has been dragging its feet on this so-called Main Street lending program, putting in crazy restrictions like high fees, high interest rates, and the like. You got to throw caution to the wind and just get the money out. We can clean it up afterwards. But when they talk about stimulus, you want to have an economy out there that you can re-stimulate. And that's where I think on the small business side, they're lagging.
So on an ideological level, there's been a lot of criticism of conservatives. Suddenly, where all socialist goes the cry from people on the left. My take on this has been that this is basically a governmental taking. What we've seen here is the government coming in and destroying people's businesses, maybe for good reason, maybe in overblown fashion, and that if you destroy somebody's business for a public purpose without just compensation, it's actually a violation of the takings clause of the Constitution, that the government actually does have to compensate you for destroying your business forcibly the way they've destroyed literally hundreds of thousands of businesses across the United States. How do you think conservatives and libertarians should look at programs like the ones that are currently being espoused?
Well, this is insurance. This is lifelines. These are not permanent programs and should not be permanent programs. And that's going to get to a real fight in this fall. One of these key elections in American history. We have them every 40 years. The last big one was 1980. What kind of country do we want to be? Where do we want to go in the future? I think things have happened in such a way, the landscape is changing so much that we're going to be able to do things if we push to make positive moves forward that we haven't before. But in the meantime, anything you can do to hit people who are hurt by government action, not because of their mistakes or something like that, is absolutely fitting and proper. And one of the things I've been pushing with the president, as others, is to suspend for a year the payroll tax, 15%. That's $1 trillion. You don't know administrative costs, you just don't collect the tax. And what that means is working Americans get a $500 billion raise over the next 12 months. We're making $40,000 a year, that's a $3,000 raise. Employers get a $500 billion reduction in labor costs. So you keep people on longer, more willing to hire people. That's instant. And by golly, it has an enormous short-term impact. So those are the kind of things we should be doing. Massive programs to get the Fed just have the banks shovel out money to small businesses, get this payroll tax suspension, and have a sensible way of reopening the economy. My area may be a laggard, but other parts of the country can open up. And we will recover. We've seen already the pent-up energy in this country, people wanting to get out there, do things, make things happen. And it turns out, contrary to what Russia and China think and Iran thinks, that we're a nation in decline, we're still a very strong nation with a good civil society out there, despite everything.
I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Ben Shapiro Show Sunday Special. If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date on all of our future content.